The Jehovah's Witnesses are in danger of losing their religious registration in the Czech Republic, just as they lost it in Norway, and the leadership is panicking in a leaked letter from the Czech branch. Is this just an isolated event, or are the days of this cult getting tax-exempt status numbered already? I'm Caleb, all grown up and ready to apostatize, giving you the latest in Jehovah's Witness news. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. There was this leaked letter from the 18th of December, right here, as you can see from Law Lover on Twitter. And obviously, I don't speak Czech, but Larchwood actually translated it for us. This is the English translation of the Czech brand letter to congregations concerning the government looking to deregister Jehovah's Witnesses as a religion in that country. It's translated by Larchwood, so thank you so much to him. Announcement December 18th, 2024, to all congregations in the Czech Republic. Threat of deregistration. In recent months, the branch office has learned about steps being taken by independent divisions of churches and religious organizations under the Ministry of Culture of the Czech Republic, which could lead to the deregistration of a legal entity, NSSJ. The government states that some principles of our teachings, including one, the application of biblical principles such as abstaining from blood, in cases where parents decide about minor children, and two, the application of biblical principles to limit social contact with those who have been disfellowshipped or who have been disassociated themselves from the congregation are problematic. Right here, they are talking about the issues that they're facing in the Czech Republic. They're getting into issues with the Czech government for mainly two things: the shunning and the blood prohibition. Shunning obviously goes against freedom of religion. Remember, freedom of religion isn't just about being free to practice any religion you want. Freedom of religion is also about being able to leave any religion you want. So when you get into trouble and you get threatened with shunning, if you leave a religion and there is absolutely no way to leave a religion without you getting shunned, then that is considered coercion. And you can't have coercion and freedom of religion because obviously that goes against that. So they're facing a threat with the Czech Republic because of that and because of the blood prohibition. Now, the blood prohibition is also another extremely illegal thing that they do. Jehovah's Witnesses are not allowed to get blood transfusions. Now, they believe that they have to reject blood because that is in accordance to a misreadings of Acts. I'll make a video about that later. But the whole point is that they could believe this, sure, but they also get immediately disassociated if they agree to get a blood transfusion, which is considered, again, coercion. You don't have, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't have the freedom to accept or reject the blood. They are coerced into rejecting blood because otherwise they'll get shunned by everyone and they will get treated as second-class citizens and they'll believe that they won't survive past Armageddon. All of that stuff is considered coercion. You can believe, like the Jehovah's Witnesses, for instance, they believe that you shouldn't marry outside the religion. However, they're not going to disfellowship anyone who actually does that. That's a little weird fun fact, right? Anyone who actually marries outside the religion doesn't face disfellowshipping as long as they don't do any fornication before that, right? Now, they won't be able to get married in the Kingdom Hall, which is how you signal that your marriage is good and up to standards, but you are also not going to get this fellowship for it. They could do the same with the blood prohibition. They could be like, hey, listen, so we believe that you're not supposed to, but if you receive blood or whatever, that's between you and Jehovah, right? Like that, we're not going to disfellowship you. You're not going to be automatically disassociated. You are simply going to phase out to Jehovah, and that's it. Is a threat of disfellowshipping that makes both of these very illegal. Now, let's keep reading. A decision of the deregistration of NSSJ could mean that we lose the ability to organize assemblies and conventions legally, as well as other rights, such as performing marriage ceremonies or preaching in prisons. How tragic. It could also mean that kingdom halls, assembly halls, and other religious property in the Czech Republic would be confiscated and transferred to the state. Now, it won't mean that. I mean, they say it could mean that, but this, in my opinion, This is just fear mongering. I don't think that just because, I mean, that's not what happened in Norway. They didn't deregister them as a religion and then just took their kingdom halls. They just have to pay taxes now. Such a step will likely result in disputes over basic human and legal rights and court rulings concerning freedom of religion and belief. 2. Written complaints to state representatives. The branch is currently taking steps to defend against the threat of deregistration and to maintain a legal status. We are asking each congregation to send written complaints to state representatives on this matter. This is like their call to action. What can you do? Well, send letters, because that's the only thing that Jehovah's Witnesses know how to do nowadays. Please write to state representatives to express your concern about the threat of the registration of NSSJ and to emphasize 1. The importance of religious freedoms. 2. The injustice of confiscating property. 3. The Ministry of Justice. 4. The Ministry of Culture. 5. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And 6. The State Division of Churches and Religious Societies of the Ministry of Culture. Each representative should receive a polite letter. Contact details for individual state representatives and the points you might include in your letters can be obtained from your congregation elders. I just launched a bit of a campaign asking people to write to their local governments on their very illegal, in my opinion, practice of coercing voters. Now, I believe that that is very important. Businesses are doing in an effort to defend themselves against this, in their opinion, slander. That's why I feel it's very, very, very important for you to get involved and to write, especially if you're in the Czech Republic, to write to all of these people and tell them, hey, you know what? Everything that you are trying to punish the Jehovah's Witnesses for, it is actually correct. Please deregister the Jehovah's Witnesses. They are not really a religion. They are a cult. They are a damaging cult. They don't do anything that deserves their tax-exempt status. 3. Prayers. We also ask for special attention to be given to prayers. We deeply value the unity and support of all who serve faithfully and help defend freedom of worship. Let us not fear. Do not be afraid, for there are more with us than with them. You know, it's kind of funny that it also looks like even they are not that into prayers. Prayers is just like, oh yeah, also pray for us if you could. Large would also publish a news story. We're gonna automatically translate it with Google. Check where Jehovah's Witnesses fear deregistration. As you can see, they have a very ugly AI generated image of Jehovah's Witnesses, I guess. You know what? It weirdly enough actually perfectly captures Jehovah's Witnesses. I feel like every single person here kind of looks like a Jehovah's Witness. Even down to like the covering of the head. Maybe she had to like do a prayer earlier, you know? Now this basically just recaps what we just read, but it is actually kind of interesting because if they are reading this and they are posting this about this, like on the news, posting even like this letter and everything, it kind of confirms the fact that it is true. Like it's not a hoax, that it's just on Twitter. If they're reporting on it, that it gives a lot of credibility to it, because I mean, not a lot of news organizations are going to report on it, but this isn't just like a Twitter thing. This is already getting reported by this website. Now, why is this happening? Well, I think that more and more governments are starting to look at Jehovah's Witnesses and seeing that Jehovah's Witnesses actually don't deserve their tax-exempt status. Remember, tax-exempt status is just supposed to be for religions or organizations that actually help people in a very like tangential way. That's why they don't pay taxes, right? Because they pay it forward. Jehovah's Witnesses do not pay it forward. The only way that they believe that they pay it forward is when they preach the good news. And the good news is only good news for them, as the governing body has said already. So that's not even for the benefit of anyone else except them, even according to their own doctrine.
But let's remember, the good news is only good news to us and those who accept it. As Psalm 2 mentions, though, for the rest of the world, it's never been good news, has it?
This is also proof of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses getting involved and telling the government, hey, this cult is actually doing illegal things. That is why I invite you to please Get involved in your area to denounce this cult to your government. I am already in the process of doing that, denouncing them because of voter suppression in a video that you can watch over here. I end the video with pretty much everything you need to know on how to get involved in multiple countries and what to say to the government. But please, if you are or have been a Jehovah's Witness and you have realized that this is a damaging religion, get involved. Figure out who to talk to about their tax-exempt status. Figure out what they're doing wrong, either their blood doctrine, their shunning policy, or their voting prohibition, and just denounce them in your area. As you can see, Jehovah's Witnesses are dealing with this issue more and more, and they're actually fearing deregistration. They cannot allow themselves to start just paying taxes because then they're not going to be able to survive. This is truly the one weak area where this cult can actually fall. I'm not saying this cult is going to just like get automatically destroyed because they have to pay taxes, but they will definitely not be able to exist the way that they exist right now if they had to pay taxes the way that they should, because they're not doing anything for anyone in the community. Thank you so much for watching, especially to these guys over here. Don't forget that you can support me over on Patreon or on YouTube to if you can donate anything, or you can donate anything on PayPal. If you want to support these videos, don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button and the comment button. Just write like a random letter and then just comment. Like it's for the algorithm.